I want to mention to everybody, we are simulcasting for the first time tonight live on YouTube. I'm doing that specifically because I'm wanting to get more people from the outside into the hobby, and I'm wanting to get more people in the hobby into the tech net. And so putting us on the biggest television network there ever was seems to be the best thing to do. It's keyworded very specifically for ham radio stuff, and it's all very specific that what we're doing is ham radio, and that a ham radio license is required to do all the stuff we're talking about and all that kind of good stuff. It's disclaimed properly. But other than that, it's just a standard YouTube channel. The other good thing about it is you'll be able to go back and watch all of the past nets. And I use the view that you're seeing now, where you're seeing me because I'm talking, and then when someone else talks, it flips to them. It actually looks like a produced television show at the end, produced by high schoolers, but still a produced television show at the end. So I think it's worth going back and watching. The Cars guys up there, a lot of them are going back and watching the Raspberry Pi stuff that we did with W9GPI. So that was a good thing. All right. Does anybody else have anything before we go to the, I got to take my quick 5-minute break here. Does anybody have anything else? All right, guys, do me a favor and talk amongst yourself. I got to go. I got to step out and go to the restroom real quick. I'll be back in just a couple minutes. So just talk amongst yourself. Please be social, and I will be back in just a few minutes.
Good to see you, Ray.
You too, Lucas.
Yeah, looking good.
Yeah.
Not what you look like.
Yeah, it's been a while, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you gonna be on your 7300 tonight?
I have the 7300, but I don't have an antenna for that frequency. I just have 20 and 40.
Oh, okay. Well, you gotta get busy on the roof there, guy.
I'm afraid of falling off.
Yeah, I know what that's all about.
I'm using a tennis ball, throw it up, yank the guy lines down.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not climbing anywhere.
No, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Don't blame me a bit. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of folks on tonight or not. I think the guy that was hosting it took a bathroom break, and the other guy stepped away. So I don't know how many there's going to be. Doesn't look like there's very many right now.
Oh, there will be.
Yeah, it's supposed to start at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, if you scan to the left there, you'll see other people there. There's a few. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a lot of people in there. 1, 2, 3. Well, quite a few.
Oh, I see. There's 12.
Yeah.
There's 12 people on.
I check it with a participation list. You scroll up and down, see all the names.
Okay, let me try that.
Picture. The participants, you can see the list of all the names.
I'm not having any luck there.
Really?
Oh, here we go. I got it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're there.
Yep. So you may be, we'll have to see if you're the one farthest away tonight.
Probably. Infiltrating Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, your K4s up there, so.
Yeah. See, I told the guy, told the guy that was running it tonight, I said, a friend of mine up in Maryland might want to join and see what 7300 will do.
Well, I got that antenna. I have a list of all the frequencies.
Oh, yeah.
And now that I have these, the web access site, I'm going to keep that and look to see when they're on, who's on at what time.
Yeah. Yep.
A very handy thing. I'm gonna get a couple of these beginners in town to log on here. They might learn something, you know.
Yeah.
There's a young fella, 17 years old. He just got his ham license. I was talking to him on the repeater. We're talking about vacuum tubes. He said, "What's a vacuum tube?" I said, "Oh." Some of these people never saw a vacuum tube.
No.
A valve.
Oh, a valve, yeah.
Yeah, I cracked up. I said, "Wow, am I aging myself? Or is it we gone that far?" I don't even tube. Everything's transistor now.
You've been around the block more than one time there, Luke.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah. 2 times. I love the 7300. It's
you?
amazing little, for the money. It's a nice little radio.
Yeah. It surprises me. They're so small.
Yeah.
It looks
It's
like
still-
the,
That's a 2-meter rig, a mobile 2-meter rig. It's got a scope on it, got everything on it, you know.
yeah, it looked like K4 HKA has one there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pointing to it.
Where is it? Oh yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
They are small.
Yeah, he's got one there too.
Yeah, a lot of people have them. It's very popular.
Yeah. Mm,
Dave, WG4K, it's Robert.
Yeah, Robert,
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm getting by. How about you?
Well, Rich Snyder's and I spent 4 hours trying to get Vara FM up on my 7100 and couldn't do it. We tried everything. We still never did get it up. So if you try to put the Vara FM on a Go box, VHF, UHF, do you have to have a signal link with that as well? There's a TNC built in that.
Oh, well, it uses a sound card, and I thought the 7100 had a sound card.
It does, but we couldn't get it to work at all after 4 hours trying to get it up. And I was just wondering, plan B, can we put it on the Go box? But then I thought, well, do we have to have a signal link to go with that Go box to make it work?
Well, my experience with trying to do Vara FM with the signal link is that it didn't work.
Okay.
But my 9100 has a built-in sound card, and that works. And I see my picture's frozen, but anyway, what you need to do with an ICOM rig is you got to give it the address. My address is 7 Charlie, and then you got to be at 19200 on your your data speed to communicate with the ICOM radio.
No. We're gonna have to do more research.
Okay, and after the last call, if there's anybody else out there to check.
But you know, Rich had a 7100, and I think he was running Vara FM on that.
Yeah, he was working with his 7100 at the same time we were trying to bring it up on mine, and we just never could figure it out on mine.
Hey, look at Dan there, KD2 TRM. He's on the same beach that Steve usually comes from.
Is that a hurricane behind Dan?
I'm gonna get my picture back.
All right. Can everybody hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure. Sometimes I start talking and everybody's like, we don't read lips. Okay, let's see here. Trying to get my monitor signed in here. All right, everybody, welcome. This is the Southwest Florida TechNet, and I want to welcome everybody tonight. It's been another crazy week this week. I had this idea for this weird net we're going to do tonight. It came to me. I'm not going to go into how. And I'm just sitting there thinking, wow, this would be a great idea. Let's just turn on our radios and see who can reach us over here. And we're just going to basically do that. And while we're doing that, we're going to talk about each band as we go. Now, I am skipping a lot of bands, and I'm going to tell you why. About 3 different reasons. I can't do them all, number one. Number two, these some of these intermediate bands I'm having a hard time tuning to. So I picked the ones that I can tune to really easy, because I have to manually tune between every time we change. So, and I've got my VHF and UHF antennas are all set to go for that. And I'm going to be using the same radio through the entire thing. I'm using an FT100, and I'm going to be using it near 100 watts. I'll probably run it about 90 or 95 watts. And we'll see who we can hear and who we can talk to. Other than that, that's pretty much what we're going to do tonight. I do want to take a moment to welcome the people from Cars that are in. I put out something on Groups.io. If I'm not allowed to do that, somebody let me know, because I don't want to break any rules. But I had somebody tell me I could, so I did, and I'm hoping it's okay. But I would like to welcome everybody there that's coming from up there, and also, of course, FMARC, our big club, the club here in the Fort Myers area. I want to welcome everybody from there to the thing tonight. You know, I got to tell you, I'm going to start by just mentioning the magic bands are starting to open up early. You know, it's supposed to be a June phenomenon, from what I've read. And it's starting early, because we've had 10-meter and 6-meter openings now for about 5 or 6 days. This just continues to happen every day. Usually when I'm at work and I can't retune my radio. But I actually, a couple days ago, I left one of my radios. I left the one on FT8 over here on 10 meters. And all of a sudden, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, people started popping up. And next thing you know, I'm getting contacts. It seems to me that 10 and 6 like to run north and south. I tend to get the Northeast and Brazil and the Caribbean. I don't know why that is. 40 and 80 tend to like to run east and west. It could just be my wire. I don't know, but just an interesting thing that I'm noticing in my contacts that I'm getting out there. But I've had a real fun time this week doing a lot of FT8. And it's funny, I had to unhook the FT8 to set everything up for the net earlier. And when I unhooked it, I actually felt a small depression. And then later on, I got the shakes. So I'm just warning you guys, FT8 can be addicting. And there is counselors available in the lobby. All right. I want to just a couple of quick announcements. I'm starting a little competition team. If anybody's interested in just doing some really deep tech stuff and maybe doing some competitions, or getting involved in some setting up repeaters and setting up nodes and doing some crazy things, get with me. I'm looking for people. Just press the blue button on the website there. Doesn't cost a thing. I'm not looking for your money. I'm looking for your time and energy. But well, you know, I think it'll be a fun thing. It's has nothing to do with FMARC. We're all still going to be members of FMARC. I'm just looking for a small group of guys to do some contesting and things that we're not doing with the club. Let's see what else is going on. I'm going to open it up right now for anybody that has any announcements, or anybody that wants to say anything to everybody while we're all here at the beginning. Come now. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Ian?
Yeah.
KC1 FLU, Leo and Lisa here in Pennsylvania. How are you tonight?
Doing great. It's Leo 1. What's up, buddy?
Hey, just wanted to thank you for putting up that Broadcastify feed for the scan. It allows us to scan and listen to the traffic net every morning and sort of stay in touch with what's going on down there at Fort Myers area. Appreciate the effort to put that up and get that out there on the stream for us.
I appreciate that. I'm working on it. I'm actually going to be, I've got to pay off a few debts first, but in the coming months, as I can afford it, I'm going to be buying these quad monitor $79 radios. They're Chinese radios. They're like the B-Tech something. They're great little radios. They have a really good sound. And I'm going to be switching all 3 of my feeds over to those quad listen radios. And one of them's going to have the 220 in it as well. So it's going to be good. The SARnet will always stay on its own because it's so busy. I've got a small little radio, a single channel radio it's going to be moving to. Right now, by the way, all those feeds just so everybody knows, in full disclosure, those 3 feeds I'm putting out are running on Baofeng UV98s, which are basically the UV5R with the Motorola look. And they are running through an audio cable into some computers that Dan gave me. KD7ACB, I believe is his call, gave me some old Windows machines and said, "Yeah, I'll give them to you if you've got a good use for them." And so, buddy, I found a good use for him. And he mentioned this morning on the traffic net that he's listening to SARnet on that. So I told him he's listening to his own computer. So anyway, that was kind of cool. Dan, are you in here? I don't know if Dan's on tonight. But anyway, it's all good. I appreciate that, Dan. I'll get back with him on that and thank him again. But he gave me 3 computers, and one of them is becoming an Echolink node. It's already hooked up and running. I just don't have it set up to do anything yet. I've got one of his over here. I've got 2 of them running scanners right now, but all the scanners, I've got stuff coming from Amazon that were $8 a piece for these little sound cards. All the scanners are going to be hooked to one computer, and they're going to have 3 scanners on one computer. So that will just take up one computer. And then I'm back to having an available computer again. So I got to figure out another use for that one. My goal is to just get as many things as I can going, because every time I get something up and running, I learn about it and I understand it. And so that's kind of where the fun is. My biggest problem, I heard somebody mention VARA and WinLink issues. I'm going to tell you guys, I can't get it working either. I've tried. I would love to do these WinLink exercises with you guys on the weekends, but the only way I can do it is through the internet, and I'm not going to do it that way. So I'm having the same issues with WinLink. I've got VARA and I've got WinLink, and I can't get any of it to work because I don't have the custom TNC thing, whatever. All right. Did anybody have anything else? Any other announcements before we get started? My hearing. Does somebody turn their audio on, or is that my radio? That's the radio. You guys can hear that, right? All right.
Yeah.
And I
we
believe,
have a-
Yeah, it sounds like somebody's taking a shower.
yeah, there you go.
Waterfalls.
Yeah, it's not what I'm used to hearing. I'm used to hearing the FT8 whine. Every time I hear that sound now, I say, somebody's playing my song. That's not, I don't think that's my radio. That's my radio. Anyway, all right. So basically we're going to start with 80 meters. I like 80 meters. I find it to be fun in the middle of the night, though. It's good when things widen out, like in the middle of the night. That's when I seem to have the best luck with 80 meters. That's one of those where if I can't sleep and I've hit everybody on 40 already, and the same people keep popping up on 40, I'll go to 80, because 80 will usually have a different group of people over there I can make contacts with on FT8. As far as voice, I haven't done much voice on it except for contesting, and it's worked okay. I'd like to open it up to anybody. We're going to discuss FT8 specific, or I'm sorry, we're going to discuss 80 meters. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about with 80 meters? Okay, I'm going to turn mine up. You guys be as chatty as you want, please. I want you guys to talk about this stuff, because I'm a facilitator, not a teacher. I don't know what to tell you. I want you guys to tell me. So again, I'm going to open it up each time for you guys to talk about each band. We're going to start on sideband, but we're going to obviously do lower sideband. So I'm going to hold my function button down, my mode button down, until it changes to lower sideband. So I'm now on lower sideband. Let me switch my camera view here. There we go. You can see my radio there. You can even see the meter and everything. Like I said earlier, you might not have heard me. Because it
Ian,
was
from your
before-
producer for this week, please go ahead and pop that up on the main screen from us, from your producer for the week.
Oh, you my producer this week. You should be able to see it on the lower. Do you see it right below me? I actually did this to prevent this problem this week. You should be able to see me and the radio on the same screen.
Yep. Okay, it's coming through. Thank you. Very good.
Okay, perfect. I did that because I suck. I'm only a good producer when I'm not hosting. So there you go.
That
But
makes
yeah,
sense because you're a producer, not a host. Yeah.
yeah, I'm a better producer than host. Trust me. But anyway, but when I'm a host, I'm working so hard to be a host because I suck at it that I forget what I'm doing as a producer. Anyway, this way you can see everything on there and see where we're at, see if we're hearing anything from you. I'll go ahead and turn it up now. Is there someone out there that wants to give us a call?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can
This
hear
is
anybody.
Scott. I'll give it a shot. I'm up in Port Charlotte.
Let me go on first to just make sure nobody's on here. Is anyone using this frequency? Is anyone using this frequency? This is KO4 EFS, KO4 EFS, conducting radio test. Okay, go ahead. Oof. Anybody hearing him out there?
Hey,
I don't hear him at all there.
You popped the Victor.
He was real weak.
This is a tough band close in.
Is this call sign in Quebec?
That's correct. It's Kilo Oscar 4, November Romeo, Quebec. And so, no, I'm throwing 100 watts. I have my wire about, anywhere from 8 to 20 feet on a sloper with a drop. And it's in a northeast to southwest angle. I should be hitting you down there in Fort Myers, no problem.
And in full disclosure, I don't have the best. I mean, I've got a wire antenna strung through my yard. It's not the best. It's like around my antenna and everything else. So it's not it's not an optimum situation.
Well, somebody said they heard me through the radio. I don't know who that was.
Yeah, well, don't get discouraged. We're going to be doing a bunch of other bands here.
All right.
All right.
How about I call Scott? I'm WG4K. I heard him. How about I give him a call?
Yeah,
And,
absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead.
I didn't write down his call sign, no, but anyway, stand by.
WG4K.
All right, I'm going to turn mine down. I can hear them.
Yeah, are you hearing me?
Try it again, John. I'm sorry. I turned it down.
EFS, Alpha Alpha 4 Juliet Sierra. Can you hear me, Ian?
Okay, well, let's just say
he's not hearing me.
Yeah, this is Scott in Port Charlotte. Yeah, I'm showing a SWR of about 1.7 on this antenna, this band. It's the limit of this band. It's a end-fed wire.
and that's a good quick discussion here on the side. The Sunshine Net this morning, K4FHP, I believe is his ID, Dave, I think it was, had the question of the day today was, what for you is an acceptable SWR? And I was surprised to hear the number of people that says, oh, it can be a 3, it can be 3 to 1. You know, you're going to lose a lot of your output, but it can be 3 to 1. I'm so picky. I won't use my radio if it's more than 1.8, 1.9. I won't even talk on it. So I guess maybe I'm being a little too critical. I don't know.
That's a little too much.
Is that, am I being a little too critical on that?
You're a little too critical.
Yeah, because I can't afford another radio. So
Designed the antennas, and he says if it's 3 to 1 or less, call CQ.
all right. Well, that's good to know. So I'm actually been treating my radios with kid gloves.
SWR is overrated. Okay?
Really?
You want to know, you know, you can have a low SWR and not be radiated. That's the point of having an antenna, is to radiate a signal. So it's happened to have a real good. It looks like an ideal SWR and everything, but you're not really irradiating much of a signal. So
Well, I know the resistance is important as well. I try to, what is it, 40? I try to, whatever my meter is, I think it's 40. I try to keep it right around 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if you guys have never just made an antenna out of a piece of wood and 2 screws and an old piece of coax and cut it down and tuned it yourself with the tuner, you can borrow it from the club. Or I've got a nano I'll let you borrow too if you borrow it from me. But to me, that's like a really fun exercise, because you can sit there with a piece of wire. I've got I made a fan dipole out here for 610, and we're going to be using it tonight. It's an old extension cord, and it's wrapped around the screw, and one of them's 6 and one of them's 10, and it's tied between 2 trees, and it's hooked to a block of wood about this big, and it's 2 screws with washers and an old piece of coax with horseshoe connectors on it. And I can get the 10 down to 1 to 1, and I can get the 6 down to about 1 to 1.6. And it works. And it's hung up 10 feet off the ground right over here behind the shack, underneath trees next to a fence, and I'm getting Brazil on it on 10 meters. So it's kind of amazing to me what you can do with literally just scrap crap that you find around. But anyway, all right, should we try the FM and AM on this? I mean, we're not really getting anybody. I don't know if we should try. I was wanting to get somebody first and then take them to AM or FM. So I think we'll probably just switch to.
You have to be careful of the FM on the HF, because below about, what is it, 29 megahertz, your bandwidth becomes too much. So.
Well, see, this is something I want to learn about tonight, because I already know that on AM and FM on HF, I have to run my power at like 50%. I already know that.
Yeah.
But no, tell me about that, please.
But your bandwidth on FM is quite a lot more than it would be even an AM signal. So you want to think about that. I don't think that most people don't use FM below about 29 megahertz. So that's not real. I saw that and I thought that's kind of peculiar if they change the regulations, because your bandwidth is going to be a bit higher now. If somebody else pipe in and say if they don't agree with me, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Yeah, if someone's aware of a regulation issue, my goodness, let me know, because I don't want to break any rules. But
Never stopped you before.
yes, it has. I'm actually quite careful about breaking rules. All right. Okay. Well, I don't know. Let's just go on up and see if we can get anybody on the next one here. All right. What do you guys want to talk about with 40 meters? I know my experience with 40 meters is it's probably my favorite band. I like 40 because 40 can be good during the day and it can be really good at night. And I also find 40 can have some real distance to it. If you're looking at the sunrise and the sunset and stuff, there's a certain time where you can really get some distance out of 40. It seems like Russia and over into Asia and things like that. And it seems to be if you got to play that light dark cycle. And so I've had a lot of fun with 40. And I find myself spending quite a bit of time on 40, and my radio and my wire seems to like 40. So that's where I'm at there. So I'll pass it to you guys. If you guys let me know what your experiences are with 40 meters.
40 is everybody's first band. It gets on HF. I know it was that way back in the old CW novice days, and it's generally it's open all the time. It may not be open to where you want to go, but it's generally open somewhere at any given time of the day. Unlike 80, which is going to close down once the sun comes up, and 20, which is probably closed up right now. So, because you don't get as, until the sunspot cycle gets going good, you don't really see much on 20 meters. So I expect this is going to be the most open band that you're flying tonight.
Somebody leave the water running?
Hey, Rick, you're a little bit muffled. I don't know. You've got a great microphone in front of you, but I can barely hear you.
Microphone is for the radio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm using the microphone. What you're hearing is the microphone that's on the camera. And
Okay.
it is good. Maybe I'm just mumbling. I don't know.
Nobody's hearing me today. It's called twice on the 7.285.
Are you the Kilo
Lower side
4
band.
November Romeo station?
Yes, that's me.
Yeah, I heard you.
Oh, okay. That's good. At least I know it's working. I was talking, my first long distance contact was done yesterday to Italy. Didn't believe it. I was happy to have that one.
Sweet.
What band was it on?
What was I on? 20, I believe it was.
Yeah.
No. 14.228, I think is where it was, 225. Now he's banging away a lot out there. It's India Kilo 4 6 Romeo Oscar.
Alpha 4 Juliet Sierra. Good evening.
Hey, to everybody who's on the call tonight, where you have your name showing up with just your name, if you modify your display and put your call sign on it, it might be helpful for everybody trying to pick out your call sign over the air.
Let me see if I can figure out how to do that.
This is KJ4, Whiskey Papa Victor.
For EFS, Alpha 4 Juliet Sierra.
I heard you.
Yeah, Scott, if you move your mouse over your window, you'll see the little box with the three blue box with 3 white dots in it, and you right click on that, it'll allow you to rename it, and then you can edit it with the call sign in it.
Kilo 4 Romeo Alpha Bravo. This is Kilo Oscar 4 Foxtrot Sierra. I read you.
I appreciate that guiding, except I'm on my phone, so that won't work.
If you
Yeah,
go
you're
into
readable. I can take
participants-
traffic from you.
Kilo
KO4 EFS. Any other stations? AA4JS. This is KO4 EFS. I read you. You're just about 5'9". I could easily take traffic from you. Of course, on HF, 5'9" is really a loose description. If I can hear you, you're 5'9". Apparently, I don't know.
About right. You ever tried the state TSO party? That's the way it works there.
Yeah.
Send the computer to
Yep.
759 when you try to run your state QSO party. I got a win.
I love when he's told me again, and I'm like, Kilo Oscar 4, and he goes, okay, you're 5'9". I've been yelling at him for 10 minutes. I'm 5'9".
That's the nice thing about FT8. The signal reports are real.
Yeah, they're honest. Yeah. All right. Does anybody else want to give us a shout? I'll turn it back up here. Let's try it again.
So Ian, just a question. Why is that? Just because they don't want to be bothered to figure out what it is, or is there some advantage to saying everybody's 5'9"?
I think that no one cares.
Yeah, you had it right on the first one. No one knows what the signal qualifications really are.
I did study those, so that's why they gave you like a 3 or 4 and a 5 is all I heard you up here on my rig.
It's a bunch of lazy operators trying to make a quick contact and get on to the next.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. 100%. 5'9" on that.
You're 5'9". See you later. Bye-bye.
I didn't hear what you said. I didn't hear anything you said, but you were 5'9".
That's right.
Because if you're something less, they want to stick around and try to make it better, or argue with you about it.
Let me tell you, I did the Florida QSO party. Oh, it was a blast. It was a blast. I got like 40 something phone contacts. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I can't find nobody to talk to otherwise, but contesting is a great way to make phone contests or phone contacts. And so I've been doing all these. If I get a bunch, I submit the log. You don't have to, but I did the Florida QSO party. And I think the next weekend I did the Northeast, Delaware, New England, Zone 4.
7 call area.
Yeah, that was 7 call. That's what it was, and that was all, and that was pretty cool. I got
station never made me contact with them.
Hotel Kilo Alpha station. This is KO4 EFS.
They're coming in about 5'7". How about me? I'm cranking out at about 400 watts.
I've got you pretty clear. You're 5'7", 5'8". Easily take traffic from you.
Thank you, sir.
Does anybody else want to try to check in real quick on 40?
This is KJ4, Whiskey Papa Victor.
Oops, I turned it down. Try it again. Oh, hold on. There's somebody in there. Unit with Quebec at the end. Again.
Kilo Oscar 4, November Romeo, Quebec.
KO4 November Romeo, Quebec. This is KO4 EFS. I do read you. You're a little broken, but I do read you. However, could not take traffic from you though. You're in and out, but I do read you. Good enough for contesting. You're somewhere between a QSO party and a message form. Okay. Anybody else want to? Robert, did you want to try it one more time? I got you turned up.
This is KJ4, Whiskey Papa Victor.
I don't think I heard you.
This is KJ4, Whiskey Papa Victor.
I'm not hearing you in there. I'm hearing you over the Zoom, but I'm not hearing you in the noise, I don't think. Tell you what, let's why don't you do me a favor, mute your mic and then try it. And that way because I can't tell if it's coming through the Zoom. That Zoom is almost real time. Okay. Let's see. And John, the NFL called. They want their headphones back. All right. Anything else on 40? My favorite band.
Hey,
Anything
I
else?
like my fun. Make my phones. Make all the fun you want.
All it needs now is Motorola plastered across the front in about 5-inch letters.
I saw that last night.
There you go.
There you go, Heil. Yeah, I saw those last night on the TSL. Jerry Glanville was wearing those.
Yeah. Do you remember those ones they had when remember after the whole reading lips thing started and they started getting them ones that I swear it was like, it looked like a fighter pilot mask in front of them or something and it had Motorola on it. And I was like, oh, that's getting a little too far right there. Anyway, lip reading, cheating, Patriots, boo hiss. Anyway, a disclaimer, I don't like sports. I'm just saying that because they cheat. Anyway, all right, let's go. Who was that?
I said, not like politics, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm going there any further.
All right, let's switch this up here. Let's go ahead and go to 20. And we'll try that. 276. Okay, I'm there. Who wants to give us a shout here? I'm not sure if that's one of us or there's another station on here. Let's just listen for a minute. I don't want to walk on anybody. I mean, obviously it's ham radio. We don't have assigned seats.
QRZ is frequency and use, please. This is K4RED.
Now, wait a minute. I'm on lower sideband. I got to go to upper sideband. That's one of the problems. There we go.
QRZ is frequency and use, please. This is 204 Romeo Alpha Bravo.
They're up 1 KC and he's given 5-9 reports.
I'm on 276. By the way, I wanted to mention something. Since we jumped over the 30-meter band, I love that band for HF and QR for CW and QRP stuff. It's a delightful band. It fills in modes you like, but it's also good for FT8 and other digital modes. So that's a band you can try.
I've done some. That's one of those weird bands that sometimes I can SWR it out and sometimes I can't. Can I tell you guys, I'm having an issue now where like when the dew's on the grass in the morning, my SWR is different. But anyway, but 30 is a neat band. I like 30. There's not as many people on the FT8 on 30, and I've never talked on voice much on there because that's not a contest band. Yeah, so it's not a band I would talk on, but and then I also, let's mention real quick 60. I want to talk about 60 for a second. This was recently opened up apparently, and it's very specific. You've got to do certain things. You can't be over 100 watts PEP. You can't, you got to be right on frequency. There's a lot. You can't talk more than one radio at a time, which I got a question about that. What I read said you cannot have more than one transmitter transmitting at the same time. Well, FT8, you got a bunch of transmitters at the same time transmitting technically, but I guess you could say they're all basically on little frequencies within the frequency, I guess you could say, but it's just an interesting fact. But anyway, I also know that FT8, I'm told, works good on 60. My radios don't talk on 60. I don't have new radios. So that's my problem. And I got to go in and modify them, and I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. Anybody on 60? Anything?
I've got 2 radios that are capable of it and haven't been on it. So
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna modify my FT100. I just haven't done it yet. I got to go in and pull 2 jumpers, and then once you break out these 2 jumpers, then you have to put it back together, and you have to hold down a button when you turn it on, and then you hold down this button when you turn it on, and then you got to press like all these different buttons in the right order, and then I think you put on something and you dance around. I don't know, and I'm just a little concerned. Yeah. Anyway, these are my radios. You know, I'm very protective of my radios.
And you hearing somebody on 14277? They're coming in pretty loud.
yeah.
Well, we can go down, can't we? If you want to go down to 275, you hear anybody on there? Let's see.
Well, the 277 is bleeding into it.
Yeah, I don't hear it because I don't have. You guys have much better equipment than I do. Just tell me where to go. Give me a frequency. You guys are the experts. I'm the facilitator.
I tell you, this shows a case in point of the need for more than one antenna. I have two UHF antennas here. Both of them are in-fed halfways, but one of them is 40 meters and the other one is an 80 meter. And sometimes in the state PSO contests or any other contests, I find I can't reach somebody, so I'll switch to the other antenna and I'll get it. So, and they're not that far apart. It's just a matter of them being a slightly different orientation, and that's all it takes sometimes.
Right. Well, I had to build a separate 10 and 6 because my rotor tuner, when I tried to tune it, I could not get anything I was happy with, and it also would provide me with a slight electrical discharge when I would get down to a certain frequency.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I wasn't happy about it. It was putting my radio through some abuse. I was getting some heat. And so I decided that I would build one and see how that goes. And what I find is you're better with an antenna cut to the perfect length, I think, than you are going through some tuner that's got it cranked up way out of whack to get the radio happy.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. The tuner fools the transmitter and thinking it's 50 ohm load.
Right. Well, I mean, that's really all the tuner is doing is fooling the radio and keeping the heat out of the finals, right? I mean, that's pretty much what we're doing is we're trying to keep the heat down inside the radio.
Yeah.
And I just
works pretty good, but sometimes you're better off with a resonant antenna. That's true.
right. Because I know with me, I really like the whole having it cut to the exact length. But with my fan dipole, I could never get my 6 to dial into exactly. I no matter where I cut it, I couldn't get it to be exactly right. But the 10 was exactly right, so I just stopped because the 6 was acceptable. You know, I've got 2 antennas that I've been very interested in. I got to tell you guys, and I'm probably going to do something with one of them before long. The hex beam, of course. I'm in love with the hex beam. Problem is I want a 40 hex beam, which is about the size of my yard. Number 2, yeah.
14285 is pretty clear. 14285.
Okay. All right, let's give that a shot. And we'll do that in just 1 second. And real quick though, the other one that I like, and we're doing upper sideband. The other one I like is they take basically a dipole, but it goes into a loop, and then it's like a bunch of wires all running together with like spacers, and then at the other end it goes back into a single wire again, and it ends. And I forget what it's called, a curtain or a what's the other? There was 2 different names, a curtain and there was another one, whatever. But the whole idea of this was it collected a lot more of that energy. You could receive a lot better with it. The other thing is it gave you a much much wider SWR. You know, you would have a perfect SWR like on the whole band. And so I thought that was really cool. So I've been reading about those. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it right now, but I really think that's a neat one because you know, because of the fact that it's going to be gathering up more of that energy as it comes through. So
Yeah, that's say about the 75/80 meter band is, relatively speaking, that's a wide band because and so you cannot, if you have say an antenna for the CW end of the band, you have to play some games with tuner to get it to work at the top of the band. So
right.
And you lose a lot. I mean, I'm doing that here, and what I want to do is build an in-fed halfway, and for 75, you know, like 3850 somewhere in there, and that should be wide enough, and it'll do better on the front portion of the bank. You just have to have two different antennas. So.
I have probably what's a very basic question, but I mean, you guys, when you turn your radio on at night or in the morning, and you're trying to find things to listen to, people to talk to, are there certain frequencies that you're going after, or do you just sit there turning the dial until you hear something that you might be able to tune in? How are you scanning the airwaves?
Okay, well, I'll give you mine real quick. Here's what I do. I used to scan the airwaves and try to call CQ, and I've had very little luck with both of those. I've had a lot better luck with going online and finding nets that are going to be going on the different HF bands, and then going and checking it on the net. The S-Cars is a good one. I've got my my S-Cars number here somewhere, 13457, and sometimes I ride the bus. And you just check in and tell them what you're doing. It's like a regular net, but it gives you a chance to talk across the country on your HF, and they'll relay you around if they can't hear you. It's pretty cool. So there is nets on every band, pretty much. You can find nets. The other thing I do to find people to talk to is POTA, Parks on the Air. It's free, it's easy, it's fun with your clothes on. And all you got to do is just go in there and download the app. And it shows you instantly where all the spots are and exactly what frequency what frequency they're going to be on. Okay, it looks like somebody started screen sharing. Did somebody mean to do that?
Says webinar is now streaming live on YouTube.
Yeah, well, we are streaming on YouTube. That's true, but
we're back.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. The YouTube went blank too, so I don't know what's happened here. Okay, there it just came back too. So yeah, I think we just had a little glitch, but that's okay. We're still here. So anyway, that's my answer. Is POTA and nets are the two ways that you're going to get phone, and then the biggest way you're going to find people to talk to on phone is contests. And if you hang around at the end of every net, I do contests, and if I don't, yell at me, and I will. And we'll go through what contests are going on this weekend. I never thought I would get into contesting. I love contesting, and I've gotten pretty good at it. I actually have worked my first traffic jam a while back, and I had a fun time with that. I had like 4, 5, 6 stations that kept calling me. And I do a lot of hunting around and pouncing, and I love contests because they give you the bracket of what frequencies to use, and you just it's a little complicated setting up some software to log it. But if you get with one of us, there's a bunch of people in here that do it, John and a bunch of people. Any of us can help you get some simple software set up, and there's a bunch of cheap free software out there. Set up some contesting software and start logging down. Do a contest one weekend. That's how I just did one weekend, and I fell in love because the bands are full of people and they all want to talk to me. Okay, it works. Anybody else have an answer for him? Where do you dial to find people to talk to?
I just generally start at one end of the band and dial through the band to the other end. And when I hear somebody, I try to work them.
I haven't had a lot of luck with that, but then again, I'm probably not patient enough for that. I'll admit it. probably need some help.
And when you say that that a band goes quiet or gets a lot of activity, you're just scanning through and you're hearing a bunch more people talking, or is there something else that indicates that this band's hot at skipping somewhere, that there's a lot of people talking on it?
Well, the first thing you want to do if you're going to go on, and I recommend this to anybody, if you guys haven't checked out the PK Reporter you can go to the SWFLtech.net website, and I'll show you that. I just noticed Vivian's in. Hey, Vivian. From Charlotte County. Let's see here. Hey, how you doing? Let's see here. Share screen. I'm going to try to do this here. Okay, this is actually the TechNet website. You guys can see that there. And under my propagation tools here, you can see I've got PSK Reporter. You flip on that, and this is the most amazing resource ever. I talk about this probably every net, and I'm sure there's at least one person in here that's sick of me talking about it. But basically, is that you, John? John's my protagonist tonight. Everybody's got their role. I got a producer and a protagonist. I'm doing good. Okay, let's see here. With this, you can basically see exactly what's going on right now. And let me show you how I set it. Let's say I want to, okay, what bands am I going to look at? So all bands, signals sent and received by anyone on FT8. See where I'm at here, right across the top?
Yeah.
For the last 15 minutes, and you click go. This now shows you a representation of everything that's going on in the world right now. Even though you might not be using FT8, this will still give you a great indication of what's going on the bands out there right now. If you're using FT8, it's a direct representation of what's going on for you right now. What I like about this is each band has its own color. And once you get used to using this, you've memorized the colors. This afternoon, about 3 o'clock, I pulled this up at work on my work computer, and I was upset to find that there was an amazing opening going on 6 meters, and I'm at work, and my shack's at home. You can still see there's still some 6 meter going on over here in Eastern Asia. See these red ones? That's all 6 meters. You can see the purple is 80, the blue is 40, the gold, which you'll see a lot of, the gold is 20. 20 is a big band, especially during the day. And then, of course, your other odd bands are in here. You've got 160 in this weird lime green color. And you can see all the different colors up here. It tracks everything. Like I said, there's even one person on 23 centimeters right now. I don't know what he's doing up there. Somebody needs to tell him that he's the only one up there. I don't know. Anyway, I'd love to do some 23 centimeters as soon as I win the lottery and can buy a bunch of stuff that nobody else has yet. But anyway, there's some cool stuff there. But anyway, so let's say, okay, I decide I want to see just what's going on with 40. You can just pick 40, click there, and it will give you that. Now, the other really neat thing that this does, and look, that shows you where you're going to be able to go with 40. So are you wanting to call Europe? 40 would be a real good band right now for Europe. It's just really, this is just such a neat thing to have literally right at your disposal. So I fell in love with this thing a long time ago. The other thing you can do is you can go up here and you can put by call sign, and you can put your call sign in here. Now, my radio, I turned it off earlier today, so I'm going to go ahead and put 24 hours. This will show you everything on 40 meters that my radio has seen in the last 24 hours. And when you do this, it kind of shows you this little semicircle to show you where your most likely contacts are going to be, or like one bounce or whatever. But you can see there, my radio did only heard one contact from over there. That's because it was in the later part over here where it was more of a Pacific thing. But look at this. I actually had a lot of Japan stations that my radio was able to hear last night. I left my radio on overnight. I sometimes I will plug my ICOM into one computer, and I'll plug my FT100 into the other computer. I've been doing this every night, and I just leave them on. And that way it helps people out all night with PSK data. And also the next morning, I can pull up my PSK data and see, like, you know, one thing I've been doing, try this. I put my beams facing north for my 2-meter beams. I hook my 2-meter up to FT8 to my FT100, put it on FT8, put it on upper sideband, put it on the right frequency, and I leave it hooked up overnight, over the day. I leave it on for 24 hours. And then I can come on here and put this on, and I can see if at any time I was able to hear anybody on 2 meters sideband with FT8. So you can use it kind of a gauge to see if there's ever anybody out there. And if there is, you can go back up in the log on FT8. You can go back up in the log and see when they came in. So you can kind of, that's how I figured out we were getting these band openings. I saw all these people talking, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, all these people are talking. And I realized it was always between certain times. And so this is something that really can help you out, both seeing what you're doing and seeing what the world is doing as well. So I strongly suggest checking this anytime you're going to go on the HF. Just give it a quick check and see where you're at. Anyway,
hey, Ian,
okay. Yeah.
can you set me up to do a screen share?
Yeah, it should allow you already, but I'm going to go in here and see.
I'm not seeing the click box to do it.
Okay, hold on. All participants. Okay, try it now.
I'm still not seeing it. Anyway, the thing I was going to show you to
it's set for all participants, John, and it also says that all participants can start sharing at any time. So I don't know. And I just turned mine off. So
mouse over the bottom of your screen and see if you see it. You'll see participants, chat, share screen, and record.
yeah, it should be in that bar just to the right of chat.
Yeah, it's not. Anyway,
it must be an Apple.
Hey, I have an Apple and I can see this.
No, it's a computer. Dan, what I wanted to show you, there are several websites that do spots, and I don't use them a lot. You know, I'd rather just spin the dial, but a good place to start, if you go to dxwatch.com is the one that I subscribe to, and that's a free subscription. It's not anything I pay for. Even under on qrz.com, if you go under database and go down to oh gosh, let me find it, DX Spotting Network, there are lists of spots that people have reported. And that's another kind of cool way to find contacts. I'll tell you, I don't use it a lot. I just tend to be one that spins the dial and listens, tries to find something and tries to work them when I hear them. But that is a great tool.
Okay. That's I've got it up on the screen now. That's dxwatch.com. And then was there another one?
Just on qrz.com under database, and then DX Spotting Networks, I think is what it says.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that comes from the same website. Okay.
Well, it comes from a combination of websites.
Oh, and it even auto refreshes. I like things that auto refresh because I got all kinds of screens and I can put little windows everywhere and they just continuously update.
You know, also on the POTA website, they've got POTA spots. There's a page you can go to that that people list spots of POTA activations. And I do use that one quite a bit because I enjoy working the POTA stations and sometimes going out and activating myself.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen this, and we won't take long because I want to get back to what we were actually doing here at some point, but this is the actual website, POTA, Parks on the Air, and this is the one I was telling you about. I'm going to change the view to table mode just so we can see a little more of it, but this is what it looks like. And It gives you exactly where they're at, what frequency they're on. So if you've got a beam, you'll know where to point it. It's got all the information. And then when you log this person, you know, it's really cool. You don't have to do anything. They have to log it. You don't. And guess what? I'll hit these guys. And if I don't write it down or I don't put it in my logbook right away, I go in the next day and it's on the Parks on the Air website. There's my listing of the hit that I got. And all I do is transfer it into my logbook and put the right date and
But
time.
most of these guys also use Logbook of the World and or QRZ.
Yeah.
And so I always try to log them on those as well. And
Well, mine, yeah, I log it on QRZ and then that transfers over to Logbook of the World. So yeah, mine does that too. So yeah. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I like Parks on the Air, guys, and this is live right now. I mean, we could actually go on here and call these people, and I'll tell you, it's a little bit of a challenge because these
next
people
Saturday, a week from tomorrow.
What's that?
Yeah, some of the FMARC guys are doing a POTA activation.
Yeah, I wish they would announce those. But anyway,
They do. Pay attention.
Where?
You're on the website.
On the FMARC website, on the net, some on the email list, although I think they probably go out to people that have asked to be on that list.
I was going to say I'm on the general email list for the club, and I don't get anything on it. I would probably participate. I'll have to figure out what I have to do to get on that list. No biggie. Because that's one of the things I wanted to start doing. With my little team was to go do POTA stuff. Because I think.
Why reinvent the wheel, though?
Well, yeah.
I will forward you the information. I'll do that right now.
Cool. Yeah, I don't remember seeing that on a calendar, or I mean, I've got the calendar printed out over here. I don't even remember seeing it on there, but maybe it is. I just missed it. But it's cool. I'd like to do that, and if it is going on, I want to make
put out. The calendar may have been put out before this was scheduled.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's no biggie. We'll figure it out. If it is, if they would let me know, I'll announce it on here. I mean, I would love to get the word out and get people doing it. And if they're doing it, I would rather just go do it with our guys. Okay. Anyway, let's finish up with that. Let's go back to anything else on any of that kind of stuff. Anybody else have anything on where you go to find people to talk to on HF? I know it's a very general question, but it's a good one because it's one I have too. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get back to the radio here. We're on 14,285 on upper sideband. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the volume up. If someone wants to try, we'll give it a shot here. This band's kind of going bad, you know, it goes sour about this time of day.
QRZ, this is K4 on the frequency use. If you heard me or not.
I'm hearing you.
QRZ, this is K4 RD. K4 running alpha battery. It's a frequency use station. This is Kilo 4, Romeo Alpha Bravo. Testing. I don't know where my signal is going.
Channel 4 earphones, conducting radio test. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to tell you guys, and let me ask you a question about this while we're here. With my wire, I have a non-specific length dipole, which, as we know, is not a non-specific length, but whatever. That's what I have. And it works great on 40. and it works pretty good on 80. But it doesn't like 20 that much. It tunes up perfectly. It tunes perfectly. My needles will be at 100 and 0. Perfect. But it's I don't receive that well on it. I don't transmit that well on it. I don't do that well on it. I just don't see, it doesn't work for me. Does anybody know of any reason that might be with my kind of is it an antenna issue? Maybe maybe I need a shorter antenna for that or something. I'm using like a 60-inch wires, like 62 inches or 62 feet on each side, I think it is. And I don't know. I almost think I need an antenna just for 20 that I can cut to exactly the right length. Boy, you guys are a lot of help.
Doesn't a dummy load tune up really good too?
Yeah, it does. It does.
One-to-one SWFL.
Has about the same performance too.
But you're spinning your wheels and not radiating signal. That's what sounds like what your antenna's doing to you.
Well, see, and that's what gets me is like I have a hard time getting it to tune on 40 meters. I have a hard time getting it to tune, but even with an SWR of 1 to 2, I'm doing great on 40.
What are you feeding your antenna with? Is it coax or a twin lead or what?
I have a 25-foot piece of thick low loss coax that goes into I'm not sure if it's a balun or an unknown or just a connector. I don't know what it is. It's a commercial antenna. And then to that, there's ladder line that goes up to the knuckle up there and then goes down, goes out.
Yeah.
It's your standard ladder line dipole. Tom Lambie gave it to me when I bought my radio. He said, "You're going to need this."
Sound like a G5RV.
That's what it sounds like to me too.
Yeah, it's your standard run of the mill. It looks like it's got like fishing lures on the end. I mean, it's the like plastic pieces on the end. It's got one in the middle. It's very simple, but I got to tell you, it works. I mean, I've made like 5,000 contacts on it, but I'm just not happy with the performance on 20. I don't know why. Anyway, all right, let's give it one more shot. Now, after we get done here, we're going to switch to 10. And there we can pick up anybody out there that has a technician license. So we're going to go to that here in just a minute. And then when we get to there, we'll definitely do the FM and the AM stuff as well, because I want to try that out, especially when we get up to up in the UHF. I want to try that on both AM and FM. So, and we'll just have to turn those transmitters down a little bit on AM. I have been warned by so many people not to run my transmitter high on AM. And I've also been told by other people that all those people are crazy. That's ham radio. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know what to believe on that one, so I'm going to turn it down to 50%. All right, let's see here. Let's turn it up one more time and see if anybody wants to try to check in.
AA4JS, KO4EFS. Yeah, you're readable. I can definitely pick you out there pretty good. Well, alrighty, KO4EFS cleared.
Yeah, that's and you know what? John and I live about 4 or 5 miles apart. You gotta love Skywave. All right, let me switch to my other antenna, and then we're gonna switch to let's go to
are any of you surprised that we haven't been able to make any contacts? Again, I have no experience with HF at all, but we just went through about an hour of we can see each other on the screen and yet not be able to communicate through any of these bands. Really, is that expected, or is that?
It was absolutely expected, and I'll tell you why. Because all the bands we've been on so far, and the one we're getting ready to do pretty much as well, they're Skywave bands, and they're not designed for this. If we were going to try to talk to each other on these, we would need vertically polarized antennas to try to go across the ground. Our antennas are horizontally polarized, or in my case, an inverted V, and all of my energy is being radiated towards space. It's designed to go long distances.
Okay.
So we're actually doing something it's not designed to do right now.
Okay.
We're washing clothes in the dishwasher right now, but it does kind of get them clean.
I'm actually a little surprised that Ian and I were able to hear each other on 20 meters. I'm surprised that our signals weren't skipping over each other.
Yep. Because I'll have a takeoff angle that'll bring me right over his house, and he won't even get any of the energy. So it's kind of crazy. And my V is kind of facing towards the south here. You know what I found? I used to think that the way my V was pointed and which side my positive lead was on and those kind of things were important. And I've changed all that stuff around several times, and it doesn't seem to affect which way I'm able to receive from. I still have the same propagation characteristics on each band. It's kind of weird. I thought if I change my inverted V to going this way now, maybe I'll get more South America and less North America, but it didn't seem to have any effect.
And that has been my experience as well.
Yeah.
People will tell you that a long wire is directional, and I'm not buying it because I get north, south, and east and west.
Yep. Yeah, I get just as much off the side. I mean, I'm going across the Pacific and getting Japan and Australia, and that's off the side of my inverted V.
Right.
I really don't think it. With an inverted V, I just think it throws it everywhere and it doesn't matter. But anyway, all right, let's. This is, by the way, guys.
You have to try the YMCA method there, Ian.
What's that?
YMCA. Try all those. If it doesn't work,
it's been a while. Yeah, I'm one of those. I talk with my hands and I do radio, which I don't know what happened there, but it's funny because Trey and I are both very like a lot of this in the studio and nobody gets to see it. Now we actually are on Facebook, so people can actually are on YouTube and Facebook now. You can actually watch our show. And so for the first time, our hand signals are actually, we now have to censor our hand signals now too. I mean, no more of the whole, you got to be careful now. Yeah. But anyway, I'm not Italian, but for some reason, I just talk with my hands anyway. So, all right. So we're going, and I want to tell you guys this next frequency, we're going to the 10 meter band. 10 meter and 6 meter are the magic bands. If you guys have not read about the magic bands, you got to read about it. 6 is actually technically the magic band, but from everything I've read, 10 has most of the same characteristics when it happens. And this phenomenon happens in June, and it happens for about a week right around Christmas, which didn't seem to happen this year because I was actually waiting for it. Anyway, but in June, it's supposed to happen. I think it's already started. Now, you guys, if you think I'm wrong or something, or this is just a fluke, there was a little bit of solar activity last week. The geomagnetic field was in a little bit of flux. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe that's what caused it, and it wasn't the beginning of the magic band season, if you will. But does anybody have anything on that, or want to speak about the fact that 10 and 6 are the magic bands? Okay, then I'll tell you what other people told me. Apparently, what happens is when sorry guys, I'm trying my best here because I don't, like I said, a lot of the stuff I haven't experienced yet, but I'm told when this phenomenon, this atmospheric phenomenon happens and it opens up the magic bands, basically these bands become even better than our current HF bands are at any time. You can talk all around everywhere, and depending on how good it is, you can talk really far. And so it's something that it's like you got to experience it type thing. And I've heard a lot of really cool stuff about it, so much so, and when I did my research, I got so excited about it that I bought a 6-meter beam, and I got a 3-element 6-meter beam made by H Square, I think it's made by, and it's back here, and it's in 5 parts, and I've got all everything's all, the screws are all there. I'm going to put that thing up maybe in the next month or so, and I'm going to attach it to my beam just for Magic Band season, and then I'm going to take it back down. Is that crazy or what? But does anybody have anything on that?
I know Tim can be absolutely crazy. When I first became a ham, I went to a ham fest and bought a CD rig, a sideband CD rig, which had been converted to 10 meters. And it was one of the old 23 channel ones. And I put that thing on 10 meters and got an antenna that was a CB antenna, and unwound some of the coils at the top of it. It was kind of like our modern day hand sticks, and got that thing resonant on the 10-meter band. And I had more fun with that thing for the car than you could imagine. Just running 12 watts PEP. We didn't turn the power up at all. You could talk to Canada, you could talk to California, and this is from Louisiana, just all over the place. But then up and up, it's crazy. You don't need the power. It will just, it'll do it for you. So yeah, it is magic.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that happen, because like I said, I've actually been watching for it and waiting for it to happen. And I want to show you guys something here. 6 meters today. Let me see, let me turn this back to anyone, go, and then screen share. There was a lot of 6-meter band activity today. This is the 6-meter band activity for the last 24 hours. That's quite a bit. And look at that. These were all FT8 contacts that were made on 6 meters today during the day. So not bad, considering sometimes you can pull this map up and it'll be completely blank on 6 meters. So I think we're starting the Magic Band season. So required reading, guys, check out that, read about the Magic Band. It's really cool. And once it opens up, it'll stay open for a little while, hopefully. So all right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to 10 meter upper sideband. This is the windmill net channel. This is actually the channel that we use for the windmill net. So once you get this on your radio and it's working.
Actually, it's not the channel, it's the frequency.
The frequency. Thank you, John. Yeah.
Rub.
I love it. All right, let's see here. And yes. So that is the frequency that we use for the windmill net. So once we get on this tonight, you have it in your radio, save that, because on Sunday nights at 9 o'clock, Charles comes on and does the windmill net, and John and I and a bunch of others come in for that. That's a good net because you get to test your HF equipment. And you know what I think is great about the windmill net? It's a great net to build your own antenna for. 10 meters is a fun antenna to build. You can build it out of nothing. I talked about that earlier. And you can talk on the windmill net locally here with the thing. I want to mention one other thing real quick. Charlotte County Cars does a 6-meter net, a 6-meter net. And they're doing it with vertically polarized antennas, basically using their 6 meters as a ground wave radio. And I'm hearing wonderful things from up there. Although I can't hear them down here, I think that if I put up about 20 feet, if I put up a vertical 6-meter antenna, I think I would be able to talk to them. And I will be trying that eventually. So something else to think about, if you're wanting to play around and you're close to Charlotte County or you're on the north end of Lee County, Charlotte County Cars has a 6-meter vertically polarized 6-meter USB net. So just check that out. All right. Anything else on any of that?
The top of the band is FM repeaters too in some areas.
What was that?
The top of the 6-meter band has FM repeaters.
Yes.
In some areas. Not
Yes,
here.
I've heard that. I haven't ever, obviously I haven't heard one, but I've heard that they're out there. That would be interesting to see what those sound like when the Magic Bands opened up. There might be kind of a lot of traffic popping up on there. That'd be something to hit. That would be pretty cool. All right, let me go back and get rid of that screen capture, and we're gonna go. All right, I'm on the windmill net frequency, and I'll turn it up here if somebody wants to. For EFS on frequency. I'm not hearing anybody right now. KO4 EFS radio test on frequency listening. I just heard whoever that was.
Yeah, I heard that.
KO4 EFS to the last station. Last station, I hear you calling me. I can just barely get you in the weeds there.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
See what you said, 3 AWT or something. I'm hearing here.
Any other stations? This is KO4 EFS, net control for the TechNet. Doing a radio test. Anybody else? All right, there we go. Well, I got somebody, a couple people on there anyway. All right, we're going to go to, I'm going to go to the, we'll go to 6 here in just a minute. We're going to try 6. If we can get somebody on 6, I need to get somebody at least loud enough that we can switch to AM and FM and try that. These really weak signals, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. If the signal is that weak, there's no sense in switching to AM or FM. We're not going to hear anything. Would you guys agree with that? So anyway, that's the frequency for the windmill net. And I've already had one night on the windmill net where I couldn't hear anybody, and I've already had one night on the windmill net where I could hear everybody clearly. So it's a hit and miss because there's no repeater. But see, I think I get more out of the non-repeater nets. One of my other favorite ones is the Gab Fest. Did that one on Thursday. I love the Gab Fest because the Cape Coral Gab Fest on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. That one's great because again, it's simplex and everybody tells where they're at. So you can swing your beam around and you can see who you can hear. And what I do on that one, on that particular net is I hook up 2 different radios and I put one in my headphones and I'll point my one beam to the north and I'll put the other one on my Ringo Ranger, and that way I can try to hear everybody on the net. All right. Anyway, that's that. Let's go. Anybody else have anything on 10? All right, let's switch to 50.125. I'll tell you guys, I got my ICOM radio and I fell in love with ICOM. You know how you kind of fall in love with your first HF rig? And I kind of fell in love with my ICOM. Like, you know, I really like my I got a 756 Pro 2 I bought used from Tom Lambie, and I fell in love with it. It's just an amazing little radio, big radio. And then I got this old Yazoo I bought for $15, this VHF. I love it. And then I bought this Yazoo FT100 from the club, and I love it. So now I can't decide whether I'm an ICOM guy or a Yazoo guy. I'm sure everybody has their favorite out there. All right, we're on 50.125 on upper sideband. I'm going to turn it up and see if we can hear anybody. KO4 EFS on frequency listening. AA4JS, KO4 EFS, I read you. You're down in there a little bit, but I do read you. KO4 EFS, any other stations want to check in? So, last station. Okay, well, just not having a lot of luck tonight. Oh, Lord. That's all right. You know what? The discussion's been great. All right. And again, John, it's pretty weak. I don't know if we want to try. I think somebody got Mannycams working. I'll talk about that again at the end. I'm using a new program tonight called Mannycams that's creating the on-screen graphics and stuff that you're seeing tonight. Somebody's picking my nose. Oh, for God's sake. There we go.
Remember, you're on television.
Yeah, there we go. Now they were picking your nose for a second there. All right. So anyway, let's go on up to 2 meters. Let's go up, and we're going to be doing 2 meters. Let's start with let's go ahead and start with the FM, which is the GabFest channel. That's 146.490, 146.490, and then we're going to do that on FM. We're going to start with FM. Okay. And again, this is the GabFest channel, the 146.490. And I think it's also one of our standard frequency list channels too, our simplex channels. It's like channel 3 or 5, I think. Somebody could help me out with that.
Channel 8 on your FM dial.
What is it?
8. Channel 8.
It's 8. It's preset
FM
8.
dial.
Okay. All right. So there you go. And so there we go. Let's turn that up. I'm still on upper sideway.
Okay, for OVZ. Well, hello there, Joseph. How are you?
It's amazing how much better this looks.
Yeah, I saw you picking Ian's nose there earlier.
Yeah, that's John's job. What are you doing?
You won't believe what just
I can hear you.
I hear a 3 on the 51.
Where's he at?
Hey, Ian, are you hearing Joseph?
Where's Joseph at?
He's out in Buckingham.
Oh, okay. Well, let me turn my tower. I've got this on the. I've got the thing hooked up to the double Yeagis.
Everybody got a 6-meter antenna. 50.125. There's a station in Pennsylvania on 50.125.
I doubt they would hear me.
That's not any good for 6 at all.
And I can't get long distance on 6 with my little wire at this point. All right, let's try KO4 EFS to the station in Buckingham. Can you hear me now?
4 OVZ. I hear you loud and clear.
KM4 OBD. Yeah, I hear you now. I swung the Yeagis around and I'm shooting towards the southeast now. All right, very good. KO4 EFS, taking the next check-in.
Kilo 4, Romeo Alpha Bravo.
Romeo Alpha Bravo, I read you. You have some static, but you're readable, clearly readable. I could take traffic. KO4 EFS, next station.
W3SKP.
W3SKP, strong signal, nice and clear.
Yeah, I'm sitting here listening to the 6-meter there where we were on 125. Boy, that just opened up. It's doing good.
Should we go back over there? we may swing back by there then. KO4 EFS, next check-in. Okay. That's interesting that 50 is opening up right now.
Yeah,
So,
I just don't have the antenna for 50 though.
I don't really either, but boy, it is open right now. Holy crap.
Somebody in Fort Myers is on there.
What I'm telling you guys that 6 just opened up. You're right.
Let's hear what open sounds like.
Okay, let me see. What frequency is it, guys?
50.125. South Central Virginia, he says. Upper sideband.
I don't get any of that. My antenna is not good enough for that. So if you guys can let us hear what you're hearing, that would be great.
On right now.
Yeah, Steve, SKP is working him right now.
You're doing a good job today, airspeed. Anytime, going good.
I love that we have a picture of John with a hat and a picture of John without a hat. That's pretty cool.
I was
Howdy.
adjusting my hat a little bit.
Oh, I never should have mentioned Mannycams. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to have to do something this weekend to get my 6 and my 10 up better. I got to get it out away from the power lines more and away from the fence, away from everything. You know what I need is property. Oh my goodness. Well, all right. So anyway, let's get back to where we were here. And this is something you guys might not know. There's actually VHF upper sideband nets. I didn't realize that till just recently. I haven't been on one yet, but I'm thinking about trying it. And can't be, something else to try. Like anything else, I think it probably will travel further. I would think you're going to get a lot more distance out of it than we do with the FM just talking around town. Anyway, I'm on 144 200 and I'm at 100 watts. And I'm now, as a disclaimer here, we're all probably going to be talking through vertically polarized antennas. Now, I've done some research on this, and I was told when I first started that sideband has to go through horizontally polarized antennas and FM has to go through vertically polarized antennas. I don't think that's true. From what I understand, and please correct me, guys, please correct me. I'll take your word for it. But from what I understand, it all depends on what the other guy's using. Nothing else matters. Horizontally polarized is best for skywave. Vertically polarized is best for ground wave. Other than that, the biggest thing that matters is what the other guy has up to his radio. And so that's why I think Cars is having success with the 6-meter vertically polarized project that they've got going on up there. And so basically I'm talking on VHF, but I'm going to be talking on upper sideband, but I'm vertically polarized on my antenna. It's still the same antenna that I used to talk on the Sunshine Net and all the other nets. So
Test one, Alpha 4.
Juliet Sierra.
KO4 EFS on frequency listening.
KO4 EFS, Alpha 4, Juliet Sierra.
AA4JS, KO4 EFS, I read you. Just like last time, though, one of us is a little off frequency.
Well, I noticed that. I could hear my audio coming back.
And yeah.
I sound like Donald Duck or somebody.
Yeah, it was interesting. We last time, remember, we all had to like set our radios to a slightly different frequency so we sounded right.
Okay, I'm at 144 200 070, and you're sounding pretty natural there.
Yeah, I'm at 0.11.
Okay, I'm at 0.11 myself. Yeah, and I can tell I sound a little off frequency.
Yeah, you're readable, but it sounds just a little off frequency. It's weird how that works.
Yeah,
it looks like we're about 8 kcs off.
Or 8.
Or 80 cycles.
You know, I'm a big sci-fi fan, as you guys know, and Battlestar Galactica, when they came out with the reboot, which was really good. If you guys haven't watched it, it's great. When they're out in the Vipers and they're flying around in space and they're all talking to each other in space, there's this weird sound the radio's made. It's this. They use sideband. That's all they did. When you hear them talking to each other in the ships, it's like, and they literally just used a ham radio and said, okay, here, actor, talk through this mic. And they recorded the sound they needed for the show. I know that's what they did. It's perfect. They just dialed it off about, just a little teeny bit off to give it that a little more of that effect, the Donald Duck effect. And I thought it was a really cool thing. But anyway, KO4 EFS to the next station. If there's anybody trying to call me and I don't hear you, let me know and I'll swing my antenna around. KO4 EFS conducting radio test. Is anyone on frequency?
Ian, you doubled with somebody.
Last station.
I think it was Ham, HKA.
Last station, come again. I don't know where he lives. I'd swing the thing around. I moved this thing up here. What a pain in the butt.
Southwest.
I gotta move it back down.
Swing it southwest, Ian.
Okay, yeah, it's coming around.
Probably.
KO4 EFS on frequency listening. Last station, come again. EFS conducting radio test. Is there anyone on frequency? Okay, yeah, somebody's saying they can hear me on Zoom, but not on the radio. All right, John, do you want to give AM a shot?
Okay, that was Ham, but I also heard a 85MD or something like that. Is that somebody that's on the net? Alpha Delta 5.
Alpha Delta 5. Alpha Delta. Was that correct?
Maybe Alpha Bravo 5.
Maybe Alpha Bravo.
I'm not hearing him now.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just.
Alpha Charlie 3. Alpha Victor. Alpha.
Yeah, and if anybody's trying us, make sure you're on upper sideband. A mistake I make all the time, a good rookie one. I beat my head against the wall for a week before I realized that all digital stuff's in upper sideband. KO4 EFS, last call. Any stations out there that want to check in? Last station, come again. There's something wrong there. Last station, I'm mostly hearing a buzzing. I can hear you talking under it, but it's mostly a buzzing. I don't think he's off frequency. I think he's on a different mode or something.
Said he was,
Yeah,
said he
all
was
I
on
can hear.
FM only.
I can only transmit in FM.
Ah, KO4 EFS. I'm on FM now. Yeah, we've got you on FM. Just a little static, but plenty readable.
Yeah, I can hear you somewhat.
Okay, very good. We got you. All right, so that was somebody on FM, and we were hearing them on sideband. That's why it was all cruddy and weird like that. All right, I'm switching to AM. We'll just try that real quick and see if maybe I can get John or somebody on the AM.
The KN4OVZ, AA4JS. Yeah, that radio AM one. Oh, really? I thought you had an 8900. Okay, well, I would have thought.
But it would talk in AM. But okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, we had AM transmit too. Sorry for butting in over the sideband.
No, that's okay. This is kind of about testing and playing with stuff and figuring it out anyway. So that's what we're all about.
Yep, that's a pretty cool thing. Watching it.
Yes, I see you putting the Bofang in Ian's ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would buy the UV82 though. It's the same guts, but it looks better.
Yeah, and the UV82 has the rocker switch, which I like.
Yeah, it's got the AB transmit. It's the only radio I know of that has a dual transmit. Most of them have dual receive now, but the UV82 has dual transmit, which means I don't know if I got one right here, but there's two buttons, two transmit buttons, one for the A channel and one for the B channel. And you can literally sit there and have a conversation with two different people. It's pretty cool. It's a great feature that I can't recall ever using. That's the new rubber radio. It's made out of rubber. All right, I'm going to go to AM and see if I can hear you on AM. I turned my transmit power down some too. Oh, wait a minute. We're supposed to go to a different channel.
KO4EFS, AA4JS.
AA4JS, KO4EFS. I do read you on AM.
I don't think I've talked on AM since my commercial radio days.
I thought when you talked on AM, you were supposed to talk like this.
1390, AM, the voice of Jackson County.
Oh, I love it. I love it. AM's great, except it'll burn your radio up. I will tell you, AM, you know, say what you want about AM, but man, that was the standard for a long time in commercial radio.
Absolutely.
We still, my company still maintains 1240 AM and 1270 AM in Naples, and they're hooked up to our sports channel right now. But we're still boiling it out on AM.
Yeah, I did afternoons on 1390.
There you go. I kind of do afternoons now too, I guess. The drive show, I guess. All right, let's see here. You probably had, well, I don't know. I have a lot of fun sometimes too, but all right.
We used to
Go on.
have
You want to do a little
1200
seven? Do what?
They used to have a 1200 station that ran 50,000 watts, and I don't know what happened to it. They turned
It's still there. It's still there. It's out on Pine Island Center. It's actually the one right there behind the fire station. It's still 100,000 watts during the day and 25,000, I think, at night. And it still covers everything from the Skyway to Key West. It's an amazing blowtorch that no one listens to. That's hooked up to a syndicated Hispanic talk channel out of, or a Hispanic radio channel out of New York or somewhere right now is what we got on it. But it gets the ratings. It's good for that. So, all right. And there's other ones too. When I was a kid down here in Fort Myers, it was WMYR. That was our rock station. WMYR. And yeah, I mean, you could, you know what, dude, when you can sing a radio station's jingle 40 years after you heard it the last time, that's a good jingle. I'm sorry.
89 WLS.
Yeah. Every station had a singing of their call letters, you know.
Yep, WQA in Miami used to come in here.
You guys remember that radio show? It used to come on about midnight on Saturday nights. I got a link at work for it, but I don't have it here. There's actually, it used to come on here. It was started with a creaky door. You guys remember that? It was like, and it was like it was like about haunted houses, and it was always like, it was like a spook show on the radio. And I mean, I used to remember listening to that when I was a kid. I used to love that. And a guy sent me the link to the radio station, and they've actually posted all of those up. They've posted all. I don't eat watermelon, dude. Hey, dude, I don't eat watermelon.
Is that KAAY radio in Little Rock?
Do what?
Was it KAAY in Little Rock that did that?
I'm not sure. It was a nationally syndicated thing that played all over the country. I wish I had. I don't have the name of it. I can't think of it. But yeah, it started with a creaky door. I'll have it next week. I'll bring it in. But it was started with a creaky door, and it was always a cool story. And that was my AM radio. I would take the bottom off my Winnie the Pooh radio, and you could take the bottom transistor part off with a little 9-volt battery, and I could go under my pillow and I could listen to that show while I was supposed to be sleeping. I was the only 12-year-old in my neighborhood with a CB radio with a 30-foot antenna outside, talking to guys on the interstate 9 miles away. All right, let's see here. Oh, you know what? I'm telling you guys, 6 is opening up. It's a strange opening too, because 6 normally does not open this time of night. Look at that.
Yeah.
My God, that's 15 minutes of traffic, guys. That's 15 minutes. You don't normally see that kind of opening. That's really good. I wish I was better equipped. That's 10. 10's rocking right now too. Look at that. That's 10 in the last 15 minutes. There's even that one radio that's in Alaska talking.
Yeah.
There's only one up there. Did you guys know that? There's only one radio in all of Alaska. It's crazy. Anyway. All right. Let's do one last test here with the radio. I want to see if we can, maybe we can make a few contacts on 70 centimeters. Or as they call it across the pond, 70 sims. We'll do the upper sideband first, 432, 200. Well, no, let's do FM first, 432, 100. Okay, this is 432 100, and we are in FM. 432 100.
Hello, hello.
KO4 EFS. Is anyone using this frequency?
And 45 AM.
Well, you don't count. KO4 EFS conducting radio test. KO4 EFS to any station that wants to check in with the Southwest Florida TechNet.
Check in Alpha 4 Juliet Sierra.
Okie doke. All right, so now let's try, let's take the same thing here, but let's go to upper sideband. Oh, wait a minute, let's go, no, yeah, this one's upper side. I want to use the right frequencies. We're going to 200 when we do AM, but anyway, okay. KO4 EFS on frequency listening. Did you say something, John? KO4 EFS to any station that wants to check in. Hey, John, did you try to call?
Yeah, I did, but I'm on a different frequency than you are. So let me try this again.
Sorry, that might have been my confusion there. I started with the 432 100. I guess the squelch will work on that. Holy crap. That was very loud. KO4 EFS on frequency listening.
KO4 EFS.
Wow, it's lots of modulation.
I've got to crank down to 5 watts.
I got you now. One of us is obviously a little off frequency, but I read you clearly.
Okay. Yeah, turn the mic down a little bit. Is that better?
Yeah, I'm going up frequency just a little bit, and you sounded better.
Okay.
I raised my dial just a little bit.
Yeah, so if we do a net on here, like on sideband, we would literally, the net controller, this is something John told me, the net controller would actually come on and he would give like a 20 count so that everybody could tune to him. And that kind of makes sense because it seems like when you get up in these upper frequencies, the radios tend to be off a little bit. It's the second time we've kind of run into this. So it's an interesting thing. It's a neat phenomenon. Anyway. All right. And then one last thing, let's see if we can get, let's talk on the AM. And let's go to 200 because that's the 70 centimeter AM channel is 432 200. I tried to make sure we were on all the right channels. Is anyone using this frequency? KO4 EFS conducting radio test on AM. 432-200.
K4EFS, AA4JS.
AA4JS, you're loud and clear.
Very good. Thank you, Ian.
All right, so there you go. That was pretty clear there. So the neat thing about all this is the fact that there's just there's a lot of different modes that you can operate on, and I wanted to mention that one of the things I did was I bought a really nice ICOM to do my phone, and I got a nice desk mic, and it's got a nice big screen with everything on it and all that. And that's my phone radio. And then I bought this FT100 because it does all the frequencies. It's a shack in the box. It goes all the way up. And I hooked it up to FT8. And so it works out great that I'm running the wheels off the cheaper radio, and I'm saving my ICOM for when I do my contesting on the weekends. All right. Does anybody have anything else on HF or on the bands or the modes that they want to talk about real quick? Anything else anywhere? Okay. All right, then we'll just see what else there is here. I know that I always go to see whatever contesting there is for the week. And we'd like to go in and check out and see what contests there are. It looks like there's a couple things this weekend, but it's not a busy contest week. I'll put this up so you can see it. This is the contest schedule. You can find this on the Southwest Florida TechNet website under resources, and then you just scroll down to contesting, and it's right there. This is a great resource. It shows all the contests, and it shows you when they're running, all in one view here. Looks like we've got the RTTY contest. What is that? I don't know what that is. Volta. There's the. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
That might include some FT8.
Okay. Well, let's see here. There it is. Worldwide RTTY. Is it just RTTY maybe? Yeah. And then there's this one here. Let's see, the CQM International DX contest. It's sideband, so you can do phone. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, that might be a cool one. I've never heard of it before. And then there's this. This is not a good weekend for contesting. I'm doing other things this weekend, so it's probably a good thing. I've got projects going in the shack this weekend, and I've decided I was actually kind of hoping there wasn't a big contest this weekend because I really need to work on stuff here in the shack. The Arkansas QSO party's going on.
Yep, from 10 tomorrow morning to 10 tomorrow night.
Yep. Was it just one day?
Yep, just one day. CW phone to no FTA.
Yeah, that would be cool. No FT8. There's a lot of FTA haters out there. 50 megahertz spring sprint, that might be fun because that would give you a reason to find people to talk to on 6.
Yeah.
When is this? The
Ian,
8th?
do you know how a sprint works?
No, not really. I don't.
Okay, sprints generally are very short. Yeah, this one's like 4 hours. You find a frequency, you call on it. When somebody answers you, you have to find another frequency, and they get that frequency till somebody works them, and then they've got to move on.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Okay. Do you do those, John?
I never have, no.
Hmm.
I've listened to them, and it's kind of funny to listen to, really.
Why did that not come up? This is it here. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to sound like I'm a lazy guy or anything, but I shy away from the ones that tend to be more complicated.
Yeah. I understand completely.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's supposed to be fun, and you know, when I got to find the square root of pi to freaking log it down, you know, not really all that interested. Oh, all right. Does anybody have any announcements or anything they would like to talk about tonight in the freestyle segment? Okay, I got one quick thing. Tomorrow morning is the last really nice morning for 5 months. That's all. The weather is going to be beautiful. Arcadia is going to see 50s tomorrow morning. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous tomorrow. Tomorrow is a paint your roof day. It's just going to be a beautiful day. And then on Sunday about 2 p.m., the tropics return. And the next time the tropics leave, it'll be the third week in October. I know most of you moved here because you like the weather here, but I got news for you. The weather sucks here. All right, so let's see here. What else do we got? I was looking at space weather. There was we had some space weather this last week, but it's all pretty much over with right now. The solar cycle was starting to get pretty active, and then all of a sudden it kind of died again. But anyway, the space station is going to be crashing down to Earth. You believe that? It's like, or not space station, but the booster that brought up their space station, I should say, yes. And it's going to crash back to Earth. And I like how they said, it's big enough that it might not all burn up in reentry. That's government speak for this crap's going to land in somebody's yard. Hopefully it'll land in the water. There's actually, as you guys know, there's a bigger chance it's going to land in the water on Earth. Anyway, there's a strong solar flare. There's a strong solar flare coming around, and it's just coming around the limb right now. And so we'll have to see what happens with that. But that could produce our next solar storms here in the next week. And that could be what ends up putting us, getting us some better band conditions out there. Anyway, we'll have to watch that. The only other thing I had there was our current space weather. And earlier today, this 6 meter right here showed a band opening. It actually showed up on here. It's been doing this the last week or so. It actually showed high muff. No, that's not a dirty word from the 70s. But yeah, it showed high muff and or a minimum usable frequency. And I was anytime I see that here under 6, I jump on it. So I've been watching that, and it did it again today. So all right, anybody have anything on that solar weather stuff? Nope. Opening it up for anything, anywhere, anybody.
I don't know.
A couple of things, Ian.
Yeah, go ahead.
The FMARC swap shop tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to be there. I'm going to go.
Cool.
Yes, we need to borrow the club's antenna analyzer.
There you go.
I'll tell you what, that antenna analyzer, I have one just like it, and they are the best.
It does 440?
Yes, mine does, and I believe that one does too, yes.
It does like antenna impedance as well as SWR?
Yes, it does.
Awesome.
And it's got the gauges for both, and it also has the digital, so it's cool.
Well, is it a what brand is it?
It's an MFJ.
Oh, okay.
It's an I don't know where mine is. You guys know what the number is on it? It's the, yeah.
I have no idea what the number is on it. Yeah, it's that one.
It does. Yes, it's that one. It's just like mine, and it's the one with the UHF button at the top.
Yeah, that's the 260.
Yeah, it's a 269. That's what mine is, and I think that's the same one the club has. So
Okay.
very, very nice unit. Yeah. And I've got a network VNA that I'm always willing to borrow. Let somebody borrow. Just because once I bought my antenna analyzer, there was no reason to ever pull that thing out of the box again. Oh, but it's got a Smith chart. Yeah, but I don't know how to read a Smith chart. So, yeah. Anyway.
Call Smith and ask him.
Yeah, I don't know who this Smith guy is in his charts, but, you know, he's like Ross Pro with all them charts and graphs. But anyway. All right, guys. Who else is
going to be at the swap shop tomorrow?
I imagine I will.
All right.
I may come by. I haven't been at the last couple, but I may come by tomorrow.
Okay. I don't know what time we'll be there, but we're planning on going to get the analyze and maybe buy more coax too. I'm not sure.
For those,
do y'all have any at the swap shop? Do y'all have any CommScope or like really high quality coax? Like really low loss?
A couple of different types of coax there. So see what he's got. You know, he keeps stock of.
I think he was going to buy some LMR 400. That's pretty good stuff.
And what about towers? Y'all got any extra towers sitting around?
He does have some tower sections and stuff out there. It's nothing that's in great shape, but it's stuff that you can get for a reasonable price.
All right.
But I hate to give away my secret, but you need to put an alert in Craigslist for that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. I got a plan to build the tower, but the mail lost it twice. So I'm thinking about alternatives now.
Well, I know I bought me like a 20-foot freestander from Tom Lambie, and it's been a great buy. It was just a great antenna because I literally lay it down on its side and hook my stuff up to it and put my 10-foot mast on it and everything and mount my antennas and everything to it. And then my wife and I just stand the thing back up again. I hook the guide wires back up.
Is it conductive? I'm guessing it's made out of like steel or aluminum.
Yeah, it's aluminum. It's aluminum to the deck to the 20-foot mark, and that's it. After that, it's all PVC.
Oh.
I'm weird about my antennas. I find that when you use conductive material for your structure on an antenna, it completely changes everything.
Yeah, that's my problem.
When I make all my antennas out of PVC, I find that it absolutely works better.
So wait, can I make an antenna out of like 2 10-foot sections of PVC from Lowe's, like Schedule 80 or something? Can I with that? Because here's what I have. I have a homemade aluminum 14-element 70-centimeter Yagi. I haven't weighed it yet, but it weighs probably at least 1 or 2 pounds, I would think. And I'm worried that if I lay down a PVC tower, I'm not gonna be able to stand it back up because it'll just flex too much.
Okay, there's ways around that too. What you need to do is you go to the hardware store, you pick the mast size that you want. Okay, if you want 1 3/4, 1.5 or inch, whatever, I would use like 1 3/4, 1.5, the mast size. You can then buy another piece of Schedule 40 PVC that will snugly fit right inside that first piece of Schedule 40 PVC. That's one way around it. I had someone tell me that they put some slow reacting glue on it when they shoved, not PVC glue. You'll never get it in there.
Yeah, I know.
But some slow reacting glue and just glued it up in there. And it actually made a very rigid, strong mast when it was finished. You can also put them together and just run a few screws through it to keep it all together.
Yeah.
But I've had good luck with that. That's what I did with mine. I'm going to show you what mine looks like here. I've got the picture up. Let me put it up here so you can see it. This is mine on my on top of my freestanding tower, which I put, it's a freestander, but because I don't have the bottom anchored properly, I've got guide wires on it. So, but that's my setup right there. You can see the rotor there on the bottom of the picture. And then I've got a 12-foot PVC pipe, 10 foot above the tower. There's another 2 or 3 feet there below it there. And then it goes up to the top. And then I've just got the cross member up there is a single strength piece of Schedule 40 that goes out. And then it's just 2 T's and 2 more pieces of Schedule 40 on the end of that. The only thing that's doubled up there is the mast. Nothing else is doubled up. Everything else is just singled up.
Okay, because my plan was originally to just get pipe and do it, but see, I'm going for like as high as I can possibly get it, and we're in an HOA, right? So our we can't have like a permanent thing that's visible from the street. So what my plan was to get a fiberglass flagpole, and that way that was extendable, so I would be able to pull it down in the mornings and put it up at night. But they keep losing it in the mail, so I'm thinking maybe I just got to go to Lowe's and just get pipe and do it. But would that be? That's what I'm worried about, is not being able to get it up and down.
What are you trying to talk on?
70
2
centimeter.
meter? Oh, 70 centimeter.
Only 70 centimeter. I have a giant beam I built, and it's huge. Probably about as big as your bottom antenna here in the picture, as long at least. And so I need to get that high off the ground, and it can't be visible from the street. But we have a 2-story house, so it can hide behind that. It just needs to be. I guess if it can hide behind, it doesn't really need to be taken down ever. So I might just go with the pipe idea, because.
Well, here's the thing. If you're standing up a pipe, I understand what you're saying about the pipe's too heavy and that it bows and it's going to break because the top of the pipe's heavy and you're lifting it from the bottom and all that. The way to get around that is to get 2 other people with your guy wires already connected and have them pulling it up from the opposite side while you're lifting it up from the bottom. With 3 of you, you'll be able to support it well enough. Once it's up in the air, it's rigid, it's stable. Then you tie your 3 guy wires off, and you should be fine.
Hey,
You know, and then of course it's something you can quickly take down if you got bad weather moving. And of course, I wouldn't leave it up during the big one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, whoever else. John.
I know your family. You've got enough brothers and sisters to help you lift the fucker up.
Yeah, another thing I thought I could do is build like a sort of L shape at the bottom of the tower and have the guy wires attached to that. That way you can just kind of leverage it up off the L shape. Yeah. But it needs to be rotatable. That's the other thing. I need to be able to point it in different directions. That's why the flagpole idea was really nice, because I have this tire mount. It's for putting a flagpole underneath your tire for like a rally or something. And what I'd be able to do would be to just go up to it and just rotate it by hand, and have the guy wires on like a ring around the top, so they'd be able to freely rotate as well. That was my plan originally.
Yeah, and all that's doable from Home Depot. You should be able to do every single bit of that from Home Depot without buying anything from anywhere.
I was just worried about the pipe flexing, because a long time ago we bought like 2 10-foot sections of, it was like steel piping. It wasn't very thick, maybe 1.5 inches in diameter, and we were trying to put just a Wilson Citizens Band antenna on top of it, like a mag mount, and we had it laying on the ground, and when we went to lift it up, it would not stay straight. It just flooped right over to the side. So I was thinking PVC would do that even worse, because this antenna is, pretty heavy.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you're going to have to get it vertical, and you can do that with the 2 guy wires like that, and just pulling it up is how I would do it. Yeah, I don't know. I hate dealing with that. That's why I went with this tower here, because the bottom's about 3 foot wide at the bottom, so it's kind of a freestander. And once I get it on a slab and get it anchored down, it's going to be perfect. But right now, it's just basically sitting in my yard, and I've got guy wires on it so it doesn't fall over.
That's just the tower itself, right? The bottom section of it, right, Ian?
Yeah, the bottom section, it looks just like an oil derrick. It's 20 foot tall. It's 3 foot wide at the bottom. It's about 6 inches, 4 inches wide at the top. So it's like a, you know, like a pyramid base, a little like a pretty close upright like that, but it's a pyramid. And it will freestand as long as it's on a slab, you know, or it's properly mounted to a mount. It is freestandable. You do not need guide wires to go 30 feet. So that was kind of my plan. And my actual plan with this, now whether this happens or not, with me it might, but who knows. My plan with this originally was I'm going to build a deck that is the height of my house. Okay, it's about 10 foot tall, a deck behind my house. And this deck is going to be about 10 foot long. And the tower is going to mount to the deck on top of the deck. Okay. And I can pull 2 pins on the end of the tower and lay the tower down on the deck. And that way I can work on my antennas that are off the end of it. And then when I'm done working on them, I can set the thing back up and put the 2 pins back in. That was why I originally bought it. That was my original plan, was to build this deck. And then the whole thing happened with Wink laying me off and everything, and I haven't been able to do it. But that's where I'm going with this. Eventually, I want this to be at 10 feet. So I'm at 30 feet plus my, you know, I'm at 30 feet plus my mast. So I'm at 40 feet to my tower. 40 feet's right about where I want to be for my 2 meter equipment. Any higher than 40 meters, you just start picking up crap you don't want.
Wait, what?
I think at 40 feet you'll pick up crap you don't want, Ian.
Yeah. But I also need to pick up, I also want to pick up crap I do want. So I'm kind of compromising. 30 does well. I get Verna, which is 60 miles. I can get Verna on UHF or VHF with this rig right here. And
I'm trying to get 100 miles. That's my goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to get 100 miles. You know, and if I went up 10 more feet, I technically could with the dual Yagis. And let me tell you something, the dual Yagis is pretty cool. All you got to do is have them one wavelength apart, and they work great. The only key to dual Yagis is that the wire from the split point to the point where it connects to each Yagi has to be identical length. So even if you have like 3 or 4 Yagis stacked vertically, you would still have to have a central point where all the wires come in, and then you'd have to loop everything out so that all the wires are the same length. Yeah. So that way they all will resonate at the exact same moment. Is the way I understand it. Yeah. Some neat stuff. I love Yagis. I talk Yagis all day. They're my favorite thing.
That's what I built. That's what I got sitting outside. It's
I love Yagis. Look, it literally, I mean, the thing I like about Yagis is it's literally just nothing but a piece of pipe. This is nothing but a piece of pipe, and these are just wires. I drilled a hole through the pipe and stuck the wire through and put a little piece of silicone on it. And I did that all the way down, except my 2 driven elements. I took the end of the wire and I bent a loop on the end and drilled it into the side of the pipe. That's all I did. And I took the 2 wires and I horseshoed them into it. And then I put some stuff on it for the weather to keep the weather out. That's all I did.
Simpler than what I did.
It's very simple, very simple. And then the wire to the 440 unit, the second array above, is a separate wire hooked to a separate radio. I did not do any cross banding with this rig. But let me tell you something. The 2 meter SWR's out acceptable on 70 centimeters, and the 70 centimeter array SWR's out at an acceptable rate on the 2 meter, because they're kind of a harmonic of each other. And so you can actually use either or, but if you use the right one, it sends out the best lobe, of course, and you want the lobe to be good. So, but that's kind of the cool part about that. I didn't realize that till just recently, that a lot of these antennas that people, I'm like, how can that be a dual wave antenna, a dual band antenna, when it's only a single stick? Well, they just cut it to a length that kind of works on both. That's pretty much what it is, right? I mean, I'm not making it up, and it works. Because your 2-meter antenna, if you SWR it, will actually come pretty close on 70 centimeter most of the time.
It's like you use 15-meter antenna on a 40-meter antenna for 15 meters, and that works.
And there's kind of the diagram of what I built there with the wires going through it. And the wires that run through it are simply just some aluminum stock that I bought. Just rolled up aluminum stock that I straightened out. And there's a real easy way. If you find some old stock laying around, I don't care if it's an old antenna, an old anything that's like wire, especially if it's softer, you can take that wire and you can put it in your vise, and then go to the other end of that wire and you can put it in a pair of vice grips, and you can bang it with a hammer just 1 or 2 times, and it will straighten that wire out perfectly.
Oh yeah, I know about that. I do that with electrical wire.
Yeah, you can do it with copper wire. You can do it with any of it. I will caution you that every time you do it, you thin your wire. So you don't want to do it too much. But yeah, but a couple times, and you can get your wire straight enough that you can make antennas out of it, and they don't look so ghetto.
So we know that picture of that antenna that actually had wire elements, because I couldn't see them. I just see the.
Yeah, I wish I had a closer picture. Let me see. Give me just a second while we're talking here. I'll pull this up here in my photos and see if I can go back a ways here and see if I've got the one that I built out of on a 440s. I did it for a demonstration for the net, and give me just a second and I'll find it. Anyway, it's basically just you take the PVC pipe and you drill a hole through it, because on a Yagi, all of your elements are slave elements except the one driven element. That's it. Everything else is a neutral element. It just hangs there. Now each one would need to be isolated from your beam, of course, if the beam is conductive. But as far as the elements go, they're just hanging out there. So you only have to connect basically the two.
Right.
Man, I don't know how.
I built I think it's the tape measure Yagi or something.
Yes, I built one of those. I built several of those actually. The tape measure Yagi, and again, the tape measure Yagi works really, really good. If you guys haven't seen those, and I'm looking up while I'm talking here, all you have to do is look up tape measure Yagi. Oh, here we go. I found it. Okay. Okay, so let me put the screen on here. So basically what I did here was I went to my calculator and I did my calculations. And you guys know I used the Ham Radio Toolkit. Ham Radio Toolkit is an app that you put in your phone and it just helps you write out. I put in my frequency up here and it gave me all of my measurements that I needed for my Yagi. Then from there, I think I go this way. Yes. This shows you, these are just some pictures to show you that's how my driven elements hook up. Each a little short screw, washers, and there's my antenna lead coming in. And that's basically all there is to the connection part of it. There's the other side, what it looks like. That's what it looks like there. Like I said, this one's built for 440, so it's scale, obviously off the 2-meter one. But that's just aluminum stock.
And that's the one that's on your tower?
Yeah, this is actually the smaller one you see on the top. Yeah. Okay. I built this one second after I built the bigger one. But I will tell you, if you're going to experiment with antennas, 440 is a great place to start because the antennas are really small and they're really finicky. If you can build a 440 that works, you can build anything.
Yes, for sure.
But that's what my driven elements look like once I made the ends on them. That's what they look like there. That's what that's where the driven elements connect. Notice the screws are offset slightly. And this just basically shows you how I built it. These are for the slave elements. They basically just stick through. You just drill the hole through. I found a drill bit that was basically the exact same size, and when I pushed them through, they were tight. And if they weren't tight, I just put a little drop of silicone on there so they wouldn't slide out. I screw my PVC together because I'm always changing stuff, and I like to be able to unscrew it and change it around and screw it back together again. So I always use screws instead of glue when I'm putting my antennas up. There's one of my tape measure Yagis. Built that one out of an old 4x4 that I took out of an old trailer that we used to use for ghost hunting, and used that and an old broken tape measure. You can see there where I scraped the stuff off so I could get a good solder point. But that's all there is to it. Your point comes up, and yeah, this one looks really ghetto, doesn't it? But it works great. This one here is an SWR about 1 to 1.4 with no hairpin turn, so that's not bad for just a ghetto looking thing. There's one I built. This one is in use right now. This is the one I used to talk on the 685 and the 160. This one is just a 3-element. Now, here's what's special about this. Notice there's no wire. I built this so that the wires were on the inside of the pipe, and the wires actually connect to the elements on the inside of the pipe. This is built out of 4 old pieces of antenna that Joe gave me out at the swap shop out of an old box that he was getting rid of. They're just 4 old pieces, and I literally just took them and made them into an antenna. These are old aerials off of a car antennas, and I put a cap on the end, and like I said, the wires are on the inside, and they actually come out on the bottom. And that, like I said, that one's currently in use. That shows you close up. That's my hairpin turn. The SWR, I couldn't get it below about 1.8 or 1.9 to 1. So I threw this hairpin turn on it. And that, I don't know how it works. It surprises me the hell that I can short it out and it works better. Whatever. Still learning about that. Anyway, but the way I got this set up, I eventually did take this back down and glued it, and so it is watertight. And so that way I didn't glue the bottom though. I left the bottom open so that way if water did get in, it could come out. But that thing is completely waterproof, and that cost me nothing to build. I used an old piece of wire that I had. Didn't cost me anything to build. So there you go. I don't know what that's a picture of. Okay. So anyway, that's how I built mine. Different Yagis that I built. The PVC is the way to go. And I'm going to tell you, when you don't have that big bar down the middle of metal, I really think it makes a big difference, because I get amazing performance out of crap that I built for $5. And then I buy a commercial one for $100 and I put it up there, and I get better performance out of my PVC ones than I do that $100 Yagi that I bought. So, anyone? All right. Anybody have anything else on that? All right. Well, I guess that's about it. Oh, hey, there's my my tuner. I did a great antenna experiment a while back with my tuner where I tested a bunch of different frequencies and stuff. All right. Anyway, let's see here. All right. Does anybody have anything else? Nope. Well, I appreciate the 90 sticking in here with us. We had a good crowd tonight. We had up to over 30, I think, at one point, and it was a good crowd tonight. I want to thank everybody for being here, and trying to think if there's any announcements. I am taking I'm just taking an interest list of people that want to join our little competition team that we're talking about putting together. It doesn't mean you're committing to anything. It just means that you want to be on our email list as we form this thing and be in on the ground level of it. Let's see. I had a couple of other announcements, but I don't remember what they were. Swap shop this weekend, like we already mentioned. And I do want to say the windmill net on Sunday nights. We've got 2 nets on Sunday night. We got the Sanibel net at 7:30, and we got the windmill net at 9 o'clock, and they're both worth coming to. So check those out. That's on Sunday night. And I guess that's about it.
Okay.
Anybody have anything else?
See you at the swap shop. If y'all are there.
All right, and don't forget, we've got all. If you go to the site there, you'll see that we have all of. I've got almost all of them up now. I think I've still got maybe one left. But if you go to the Southwest Florida TechNet website, you'll see a banner right here at the top, and it says "Click here." If you go to that, it'll actually show you whatever. You go to archive anyway. Yeah, there it goes. And when you go to archive, you'll see here's all of our previous nets, and you can just click on them, and you can actually watch any of our previous nets. You can go back and scan through them to find the part that you were wanting to watch or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
And there you go. I'm now playing a TechNet in a TechNet.
Oh, no way. Wow, there's quite a crowd on that one, wasn't there? Look at that.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've done pretty good. We've had as many as about 45 folks in here at one time, and we've had as little as 6.
Wow. What is this? This is probably the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 7. Do you count?
Yeah, we got there's no, and one of the we've got 8, but the 8 doesn't count because I've got one as a monitor. So
Yes.
I have a tablet here that just monitors, so I can see what you guys see. But anyway, so there you go, and that's all in there, and those are all on our YouTube page. We actually have a Southwest Florida TechNet, and I'll tell you guys something you may not realize. If you go to the Southwest Florida TechNet's YouTube page and subscribe, it will send you an alert every time we go live.
I got that. I'm subscribed to that.
Yeah.
Do y'all ever read the comments on there? Y'all should check your comments, because every now and then you get some, but you never answer them.
On what, on YouTube?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that there's any comments. Like I said, we just got it all back up a couple days ago. So.
Okay.
No, I'll have to go check that out. I don't. We do everything on here, so I don't really, maybe I probably should pull that up and watch the comments. I guess I don't. One more thing.
Yeah, there was actually someone asking you a question today on the YouTube side of things. Someone was asking.
Yeah, there's a couple. There is actually 4 comments in there. Okay. Yeah, I had it up over here, but I didn't have it down enough that I could see the comments, so I'll have to watch that. All right. Anyway, anybody have anything else? I know I have spaghetti.
I love spaghetti. Publix has marinara sauce. It is so good.
I do too, and I have this weird thing with Italian food. I love it. It doesn't love me all the time, but I love it. The best thing to do with a tomato is not eat it.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Tomatoes are really bad for us, and I love tomatoes. Oh my God.
Oh, you like them? Oh, I just don't like them.
I love tomatoes in any form except their natural form. I think that tomatoes are disgusting, but I love like ketchup and tomato sauce and pizza sauce.
Well, see, I guess that's what I like too. Like, I like spaghetti and pizza, but I hate to like tomatoes in my salad.
Yeah, I don't do whole tomatoes. That's disgusting.
Everyone else is like,
God made the tomato, and then man made it better. But anyway.
Thanks, Ian.
All right, guys, have a good night out there, and I'll catch y'all later, and we'll see you next time, and all that kind of good stuff.